What's going on? I'm camping here. I set up a little camp spot here. You know, some friends and I built this little lean-to here, set up a campfire. Another tent, got a little clothesline here. Then up here, there's like this crazy stick fort. A little candle, be careful, you don't want to burn it down. But yeah, we're in the mountains of northern Andea. I don't think you've seen yet. I haven't shown this off on camera. So we added this terrain expansion to Andea. Made the terrain quite a bit bigger. But there's a reason that I'm in Andea instead of Monstera. So if you follow my Instagram, you probably saw that I actually put Monstera into Andea. Not like the entire island. I took the 4 blocks that were pretty well close to being done, and I'm incorporating it into the actual city of Andea. Now, if you're pretty new to the channel, Andea is this city. Well, I mean, not here. I mean, this is the island of Andea. We're like way up here. I'll put a map up. I'm like way up here. But down here, there's this really big city that, you know, we've been working on as a community for I'd say probably close to 4 years now. Actually, I think it's been longer than 4 years. You also might know it because Corellis and Andea's Yoda reviewed it a while ago. Now, I know the first question on your mind is probably why, and I mean, that's a good question. Now, if you've ever built something completely on your own, you'll know that after a while, it does get a little bit boring. So I'm pretty used to building on servers, and I've done so ever since about 2014. And when I switched to building Monstera, I had my own private server, but I kind of missed the whole community feel, so now I'm back. So there's good news and bad news with this. There's way more good news than bad news. So the good news is that there's going to be way more builds and progress. The projects are going to be like way faster. And I'm also planning a lot more, which means I can show you guys more stuff. The bad news is that I don't have complete control over the city of Andea, but I can also kind of spin that to be good news because now it's going to be a little bit more realistic when I work with people. And even more good news, which I would consider to be the best good news of all of it, is that you can actually see this city if you have Java. So today I'm going to walk you through the new Andea plans. I'm going to show off Monstera. I'm also going to walk you through my current plan to connect Monstera to downtown Andea. And I'm just going to kind of walk you through all of the urban planning elements that you've been kind of missing out on that I haven't showcased. Anyway, if you find this video entertaining or useful in any way, feel free to subscribe if you haven't already, and also feel free to click like. It just helps with the algorithm and helps me pay my rent. I also have a Patreon if you want to see some cool perks. Right now we're in the city of Monstera. I mean, technically, it's not really a city anymore. Kind of, I mean, it's part of a city. At some point, it's going to be a fairly sizable portion of Andea. But yeah, for right now, it's just kind of like these 4 blocks. And then I added stuff over here, working on this over here. This is going to be more of a transition between Monstera, and there's more of this like sort of Manchester area. So one of our helpers is working on this building here, and it's going to transition from Monstera and slowly go down to the sort of Manchester area over here. So it's that there, and then you have the highway that goes like under. And then this is obviously quite a work in progress here, but there's a lot of cool buildings over here. This is not technically part of Monstera. I did not build any of this. We have this lovely church. So the idea is to connect this spot to Monstera over there. So this is what this road is for. So I did not put this road in. I just put a little line on a map, and then our road specialist went ahead and connected them. And this is kind of a major road. So this connects Monstera to the rest of Andea as of right now. So it's the only road that does that. So if we take a look at our dynamic map here, this is Monstera, right? You have your 4 city blocks right here, and then, you know, somebody's exploring it, and then I'm right over here. And then we have the main road here, and it kind of snakes down and then connects to the rest of Andea. So if we go ahead and look at the 3D view here, this is Monstera. If we zoom out, we can see the rest of Andea. These are mine, this one's mine, this one, just a bunch of other ones. And then also this one here too. You might recognize this from one of my other videos. We have a bit of a terrain expansion, so it's quite a bit larger now. So the old terrain used to go right up until here. So this road, there actually was a highway that went underneath, and this edge was actually right here. So it is quite a bit bigger. We are going to use this as an industrial area. We have sort of a financial district. Don't mind the roads. So these roads are just pasted in the air at the moment, and eventually we're going to put them flat on the ground. We are going to do some modifications to it because it does feel like a lot of road. We're going for sort of a financial, you know, Toronto, New York sort of feel. But the plan is to have this big road here, become a bridge right here, and then it's going to go down here and eventually connect to this one. If I pull up this quick plan here, this is Monstera. Sorry, it's really grainy, but it's just a screenshot that I put stuff over top of. So this was the big financial road right here. It's going to go in here, and then it's going to go here, and then instead of going straight through to this bigger road that we were just looking at, I want to have it go like this and then sort of around on one side. And if you're driving this way, you take this road right here and then continue down here. The reason I'm doing this is because I want to have some sort of, like really nice building here that acts as the center focal point for a view corridor. This means that it's going to be really great for screenshots if I'm standing right about here and then looking this way. I'm going to have all these big buildings that are lining the side and then something really nice in the middle. I kind of have Park Avenue in New York in the back of my mind where, you look down Park Avenue and then you see the MetLife building and Grand Central. So this is what the old road looked like. It went down here, and the original intention was to connect it to this bottom one. So in terms of the other connections to Monstera, the idea is to have one of these roads go down here, and then there's an intersection right here. I know it's kind of grainy, it's hard to see. We're gonna have this one, and then there's another road right here that's gonna cross a bridge and then gonna connect right here. Now, of course, none of these roads are final, but this is just kind of a rough plan. So this is the built up area of Monstera so far. So over here, we're gonna have Monstera West, which is more of a New York City and sort of blended financial area with Monstera, because I don't wanna have a very, financial feeling area and then immediately switch styles. Same thing on the other side down here. So this is more of the Manchester style area. So when I'm building this area, I'll probably book a Via Rail train ticket and maybe go there for, I don't know, just an afternoon or something, get a bunch of footage for you guys. And then down here, you see this big open area right here. And then, oh, well, what are these red things? Well, the idea with these red things is that these are part of the train line. So we're going to have a tunnel right here, and then you're going to have your cargo and your heavy passenger rail coming in here. And then there's going to be a through track that goes down to here for the passenger rail. This one here, this one's going to curve, go up here, and then it's going to cross the river and then go back in behind the pharmaceutical area that's already built. And then it's going to go here. And instead of going this way, it's more likely going to go up here, cross here, and then curve down. And then when it gets down here, it's going to be a rail yard, and then there's going to be a maintenance shed, and this is going to be for the passenger rail. So this is the plan for the rail yard and the shed. So the idea is that you have this rail that comes in here for the passenger rail, and then it curves up right here. So this is existing. And then up here, you're going to have a couple of platforms for people to get off. And the intention is this to be a dead end right here, because if we go back to our dynamic map, that's right here, and we go back to our 3D view, we can see that the rail goes up here, but then down here's this nice valley. There's lots of trees, there's these like winding rivers and stuff like that. So I really don't want to build in that. I'm really going to keep this as more of a nature reserve. Now down here, you have different elements of the track. So this right here is for trains to get off so they don't obstruct the main track. Right here, the trains go here and then off here, and then this is going to be a shed for maintenance and repair and stuff like that. It's going to be like this big covered thing. And then here's going to be like a bunch of offices or something. So it's kind of the main control hub for these rails. And then over here, this is going to be out in the open. So you can go this way right here. And you can also get off the main track right here. But this is more of just a train yard that's, just out in the open. So I just have to be careful not to push this too close to the highway, because this is an off-ramp that's not complete yet. Because I also want a perimeter road around it, because it needs to be a secure area. So right now, all this terrain is pretty well at the same elevation. But my idea is to bring this up so that this is actually elevated above here. And then this right here, this is going to be the road that connects down to this intersection. So this will just be a tunnel here, and this road will just go straight through and connect to right here. So this way you're going to get some grade separated rail. I love to do this in cities because it makes it a lot more complex, and to be honest, it's way more fun to explore. So when you first go to /warp Monstera, you'll end up at this train station right here. So the idea with this train station, this is actually the metro station that I built in this video. We're not quite sure on a plan to connect it to the rest of the city yet, but we do have an LRT line that goes right here and then snakes down this way. There's another station here, and then it goes down here, and then down here, and then it goes underground right here. But the thing is that these tracks are actually a different size than the ones I'm using up here. I'm pretty sure New York actually has the same problem, where there's different sized cars and different sized tracks, because at some point there was like a bunch of different companies that were working on the metro. I don't know. But the idea is to have this on a different loop compared to this one down here, and then they'll just meet at like a station or two. In terms of bus lines, there's nothing in the works just yet. I'm probably going to convert some of these lanes into bus express lanes. And then this road up here, I'm going to put back down to 2 lanes because I really don't need something this big, to be honest. So I'll do that. And then this road is going to snake here, and then it's going to go up and around this valley here, kind of on this ridge line that you can see right here. And then it'll go here. It'll go either above or below the highway. And then it's going to go up here. So up here, one of our curators is actually working on the national park, which is this entire area up here, which is absolutely enormous. And this here is going to be kind of the central part. So this is a lie. It's not going to be 4 lanes. So it'll be 2 the entire length here. And then this blue, these are bike paths. So the idea is to have one on the right side. If you're going this way, it's going to go here, and then it's going to loop for an elevation change, go underneath, and then it's going to go along the edge of this nice park down here. But yeah, I'm really excited for this national park up here. There's a lot of fire watch towers that are going to be put in places like this right here. So there's already markers for it. And then there's going to be a bunch of trails and stuff like that. But this terrain, it's really fun to explore, even just on foot, and just crank your render distance up if your computer will allow it. It's huge. So we're also going to have quite a few bike paths and a lot of bike loops that connect around the entire island. So if we look down at this river here, you can see that we have these pathways on either side with this nice pattern. The intention is to continue them pretty much the whole way, but the idea is to connect it to bike lanes on roads and different paths that weave through the city so that we can connect all parts of the city to this big network. We also have a lot of work to do on a lot of parts of the city, me in particular, because I have a lot of unfinished projects. This is unfinished. This entire thing is unfinished. There's lots of buildings in here that aren't decorated. I never ended up putting bases on these towers here, which I still need to do. I need to do the interior for this one and for this one. I need to make the rail yard. I need to do all the expansions for the roads, rail. There's a lot of stuff to do. But now that I'm back working on Andea, you guys are going to get a first-person look into how this actually happens. If we go back to this plan right here, this port, it's been a work in progress for quite a few years now, but we're starting to develop a plan which we think might actually be feasible. So this red square that's not completely rendered, this is the size of a cargo ship. So here we can have 1, 2, here we can have 2, this section we can have 2, this is going to be able to hold 1. And then these darker brown sides on the edge here, these are going to be for smaller ones. This island is not in place yet, it's just drawn in there, but the intention is to build this sort of fake island and then have these roads here that connect. We're going to have a big bridge that goes across here and then have a big loop. And then, we're going to connect it to rail. There's going to be like lots of trucks and then, lots of space for cargo. It's going to be a pretty cool spot. And if we go down here, there's this spot here. I'm not settled on the name yet, but we have a bunch of old San Francisco houses and buildings that we used to have right over here. But then we got rid of them because, we were doing this terrain expansion and we felt we could put them to better use. So here's a couple sketches for some of the details that I was working on the other day, but don't get your hopes up too much because this is going to be a while before we get started. So there's San Francisco, and then way up here, there's these other things that I kind of had in the back of my mind. So this right here, this is Capilano, that's based on North Vancouver because I wanted something that was kind of like Lower Lonsdale when I was visiting. And then this over here, this is going to be Fraser Mills. Again, I'm not settled on a name yet, so if you have a better suggestion, feel free to leave a comment, but it's going to be based on Port Moody, BC. And then this section right here, I'm still not really sure on it. I just put West End Vancouver just for now, but the idea is to have something Vancouver related in there because sometimes when I'm building, I'll be building something New York style, and then, the next day I'll want to build something more of a Vancouver style. But of course, as I was talking about in this video right here, when you have a new idea for a different theme of a build that doesn't particularly fit the area that you're currently working on, you should start a new neighborhood in a different area of the map, and that's exactly what this is. So now that I'm working in Andea, I'm not going to have complete control over the area. This means that it's not completely my project, and I can no longer take credit for 100% of it. Just by the way. See, isn't this better than me just working on my own city? There's so much more that I can talk about now. So I was going to go around and talk about each building in Monstera, but my voice is getting pretty tired, so I'm going to put up a cinematic and just put some text on the screen for you. Before I go, feel free to click like. It just helps this video do a little bit better. And if you'd like to check out some of the perks I have on my Patreon, then I have that link in the description.